Starting off with one of the games that kind of kicked off me looking at all of the Steam Next offerings, which is My Work Is Not Yet Done. This is, I believe, a one-man project out of Korea, which actually there's another game I'm going to talk about that is also a one-man project out of Korea. But My Work Is Not Yet Done is a Kickstarter game that is now in demo form. And I first heard about it from a Reddit post saying, this game's art style is crazy cool. Here's a spoiler alert. A running theme that we're going to get for this game and the next couple, 4 games in a row, is Taigen really likes games that with heavy atmosphere and bleak minimalist art styles. I like it a lot. I like those things a lot. So My Work Is Not Yet Done is this. It's described as an investigative horror game. And it is. It is essentially, it's a very mysterious game. It's hiding a lot of information from the player, and you're meant to figure it out as you go along. The trailer for this game is insane. It was really good. I thought it was it very much sold me on the vibe and the atmosphere. It takes place in an unclear time, presumably the future, in an unclear location. It's in the middle of the woods. The main character... So the trailer shows... I don't know how much I really want to spoil. I guess I'll talk about it. Because the demo might go down soon. But the trailer shows a character. It has first of all, this game has an incredibly highly detailed black and white pixel art style. Very interesting game to look at, especially in still images. Gets a little. I'll talk about that in a second. But very interesting visually, kind of crunchy looking. And the trailers, but with these kind of analog and digital effects over it. Gotta finish this thought. Where you have a little bit of chromatic aberration, but only in, say, a corner of the screen. You've got, certain areas, there's, excuse me, at one point you go into, your kind of home base bunker. Or, sorry, the big shed outpost. And, the screen has these... They're almost like scratches or hairs... that you would find, dust, like visible dust on a very old physical camera lens. Sort of effects like this. When it starts raining, the screen gets kind of splattered with very, very realistic looking water. Stuff like that. Very much you're meant to be immersed in a kind of mood. So the trailer... You see just this image. You see this kind of sporadic images, parts of this scene of a person on a cliffside taking their clothes off and then jumping off. And then when the demo opens, you are playing as a different character standing on that cliffside, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. This person's clothes are there. Their ID card is there. The clothes have been folded neatly. And you're just kind of wondering what happened and why. And you come to learn that the main character... So you're in some kind of big wooded area. And the main character is part of this research group that has been sent there to presumably, you kind of gather, pick up on a signal. There's some kind of signal that they're looking out for that they haven't found. I believe when the game opens, it says like day 112. So they've been there for a little bit. They've been there for a while. Haven't found anything. And in fact, all of the main characters' group members, their fellow team members, have all gone missing. She's the last one left. I believe her name is Avery. And the one who jumped off the cliff, Rebecca, was the only one besides her who was still left of the group. And so there's immediately a mystery set up. What happened? What's going on in this location? There are a lot of hints as to other characters losing their minds, maybe seeing things, hallucinations. So maybe some weird stuff is going on with reality. It's an extremely slow game. You walk around slowly, and okay, the only thing that happens in this demo is you're on a cliff, you go home, you take a shower, and you go to sleep. That's the only thing that happens in this demo, and I found it extremely engrossing. So where the investigative part of the game comes in is that by holding the right mouse button, you go into essentially like an observation mode. And by mousing over things, you can then click on them to get a text description of the main character's thoughts on it, or like a text narration of the main character's thoughts on that thing. So a lot of this game, straight up, this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. A lot of this game is reading. I spent an hour playing this game. I went back and replayed it very quickly just to see if I missed anything. But I spent like an hour playing the demo, and most of that was standing in literally one room reading stuff. And I really enjoyed it. Because the game does not exposit anything to you. There is zero exposition. It drops you in the middle of this situation. It doesn't tell you anything about the state of the world, about the state of the characters, about anything that's happened in the past. And you are reading Avery's thoughts as they would be in real time. Avery is not narrating or explaining things to an audience. These are just her internal thoughts. She has no need to exposit. So you have to piece these things together just by reading. So like you get, this description of one of the other team members, like I think her name was T, and she like, you get this memory, this recollection of T seeing, it's like, oh, it's very creepy. It's like on the way up to the outpost, there's like these steps, and you can observe the steps. You can get a description of the steps, and Avery's thoughts basically describe how the steps are made of a very durable material, like some sort of concrete or cement or something. And yet they are in a state of extreme wear, which suggests that they're actually quite old and unkept. Which made it very strange when T described venturing into the forest on just like some kind of exploratory thing. Well, I don't know exactly what she was. They never say like really what she was doing, but she was in the forest by herself. And she saw a staircase that was, by her description, brand new and seemingly untouched. And that sight, as far as any of them could tell, was the impetus for her completely losing her mind. And just like these interesting little details that build up this mystery of what is going on. The name of the game, My Work Is Not Yet Done, is immediately referenced, sort of, in the demo, where it's very strange, obviously, that Rebecca has suddenly and without any warning signs just sort of committed suicide. But in a way where she is like, it's not a spur of the moment thing. It seems like because the way she folded her clothes, she laid out her ID card. Avery notes that it feels like she was meant to find it. It was not. This was something that was very premeditated. And with that, with her things, there's also a little note, and it says, you can go. Our work is done. So there's like, okay, well, what if their work here supposedly is that they're trying to find some kind of evidence of this message, and Rebecca has suddenly ended it all and claims that like the work is done. What does she know? Was she did she hear something? Did she see something? Did she learn some kind of secret, some sort of truth? What's going on? And Avery's the only one who doesn't know anything, and she's the only one left. A lot of this game's atmosphere is just walking through these very dense forests where the thing is that it's easy to lose her in the forest. It's easy to lose yourself visually in the forest. And I think it feels intentional because of how dense, the game is almost hard to look at because of how detailed and high contrast the graphics are, where the leaves of the trees, as they blow, just like bend and they stretch, and they just these like very small pixels all just like bunched up together, all these differently colored high contrast pixels moving, and it almost kind of blurs together. And there's a horror, right? There's a sense of horror to being lost in the woods, to being like to losing yourself. There's you can walk, you can think you've been walking in one direction in the woods, and in fact you've been walking in circles because your brain just sometimes can't navigate it. It just gets lost. And like the oppressiveness. Nothing bad happens in this demo. There's no real danger, but you walk in and you walk to a new screen, and the score, there's zero score in the game. It's all ambience. It's all ambient sounds of the woods. Something is like clicking over in one direction, like just in one ear, like one audio channel. Things are there's like a bird or something like that whistling. You hear the rain coming down, and it's just completely, the environment itself is enveloping you, and it's enveloping the character. And there's kind of like you kind of there's like a slipping into madness kind of element to it. Very cool game. I would recommend checking it out if assuming the demo is still up. I will warn you, the first couple times I tried to boot this up, I don't know what it was. It's not a hardware issue. It just completely like crashed my video drivers, and at one point forced my computer to like completely reset. Like I hit launch, and it got to the title screen, and as soon as it hit the title screen, my computer, like, it froze and forcibly reset itself. No blue screen, but just like force reset, which was really bizarre. And I fixed it because this is like a demo, there's like no resources online for like a fix or anything. The fix that I got was I just uninstalled it and reinstalled it, which was easy because it's a very small demo. I mean, demos are usually pretty small. Yeah, so fair warning, that might happen if you start getting issues with the game crashing on startup, or fucking with your graphics drivers and crashing other programs and stuff like that. Uninstall, reinstall. Guess it worked. Might just be a me issue. But very cool demo. Has made me interested in the actual game now.